Welcome back, everyone. You might be able to tell from the smile on my face, there are certain interviews I do. And, when you wake up in the morning, you go, okay, what am I doing today? Well, truth is, I love what I do for a living. But there are some people I interview that I just really look forward to. And little Mike Bittel. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Michael Bittel, who's the president of the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce, is my guest today. Hello, Michael. Oh, he's leaving. Okay. I knew that would do
Jesse.
it.
Hey, Jesse, great to be here, man. Great to be here. Thank you for that great introduction. You know what? I wouldn't expect anything less or anything more.
Anything more? Exactly right. Hey, Michael, wow. We're coming out of the pandemic. The economy is really rocking. And you and I were both part of meetings in the last couple of weeks where the topic of employment and what are we going to do to make certain that our businesses and the businesses that are part of your chamber are adequately staffed for a summer that we anticipate will be even stronger than last summer, which was a surprise in the heart of the pandemic, but we're coming out of it. So I just wanted to try to get your update on this and your thinking about what we're doing, some of the challenges and what's going on to try to build our local workforce.
Yeah, Jesse, thank you, first of all, for having us on. It's always great being a partner with Look TV, and we can't thank you enough for all you do for the community, because the past year, you and your team have really knocked it out of the park, and the community's been hungry for positive news and for real news, and you've nailed both of them. Remember, we've talked about this. I'm not an A or B guy, I'm a C guy. You have put out real positive news. So thank you for doing that, Jesse. You've done a lot for our community. My pleasure, my pleasure. And so, Jesse, this is going to be a great year, and the economy is humming at all levels, from restaurants to tourism to manufacturing, all across the board. We have one big issue, one big competitor on employment for our private businesses. And right now, unfortunately, with good intent, that's the federal and state government. So, Jesse, we've got folks that do need a helping hand up and are on unemployment, and they need that help right now. We have others that are still on unemployment that we need to come back into the workforce. We've got the jobs. You've got a great opportunity. If you need a job, if you need to go back to work, you pretty much have your pickings out there for pretty much whatever you want to do. We'd love to have you back. Right now, the federal government's offering $300 a week through September 6th, on top of New York State's state unemployment, and which generally was 26 weeks out of a year, Jesse, has been extended to 56 weeks. So we're competing with the federal and state government. That's where that came from. And Jesse, if you put it together, what somebody's getting to unfortunately stay at home and not come to work, it's a little over $20 an hour, Jesse, and that's tough to compete with.
Yeah, no, Michael, I interview so many people about this topic, and there's that real conflict because you want to be able to help those that need a helping hand, right? And the pandemic showed that, especially in the categories that are so directly related to the health of our local economy, a major chunk of that being tourism, are jobs that were immediately wiped out, hospitality jobs, everything related to that topic. So those people, some of them needed that helping hand immediately, yes. But now you almost wish that they recognize that the people that made it possible for them to have a living need their help. They need them back, and they want them to come back, right?
Yeah, we really do. And you know what's great is all of our small businesses and large businesses in this area have long ago, when this all started, taken COVID seriously, have wonderful health, safety protocols in place for their workers. That's why, per Governor Cuomo's own stats, per his own data, less than 5% of COVID transmissions are from workplace. Think about that. So you've got a whole 95% where it's, but 5%, and it's been under 5% here consistently. So the safety protocol and procedures are in place. We probably have some folks that are anxious about coming back due to COVID, but I can assure you, you can come on back to work. Ask the potential employer, what are you doing about safety, health, and protocol? They will all hit it out of the park. Do what you feel comfortable with, but there's a place for you to come on back into the workforce. And the other thing that I'd urge folks that are, at home right now that could come back to work, pick now, get your job now, because it might not be there in 6 months as people come back into the workforce and fill them up. Come on back now and pick the plum jobs.
That's right. Yeah, that happens to be an important point. I was talking to a big player up in hospitality up in Lake George region. And outside of the fact that this person was actually cleaning rooms himself last summer, it was really tough for him and his organization that there are additional incentives for people coming back to work, and that the plum jobs are the jobs that they would like to have people apply for now, because if they're locked up, those are the jobs. So I hope that our viewers are taking that to heart and know somebody who may be sitting around debating whether or not it's time to go back, that they actually do go back. It brings me up to something I want to talk about. So I got two questions for you, Michael. One is that we have the Visitor Exchange Program, commonly referred to as the J1 program. There's talk that that's going to get spooled up again. At the federal level, there was some issues with immigration and whatever, so that, thing got stalled, it got moved around a little bit or whatever, but it looks like it's back. So let's talk about that. The CDC has put in place a couple of mandates, correct?
Yeah, they have. So let's go back just briefly here. You're totally right. J1 is spooled back up. That's the Visitor Exchange Program, where we have the opportunity to welcome folks from abroad to come on over for 90 days. And during that time, the vast majority of them take jobs because they want to be immersed in the culture from this beautiful region, but also working and the touch points there, and make some good money. So that was started back up April 1. So part two to that is, as the chamber here, we've been asking a lot of questions to CDC. What does that mean? What rules, health and safety protocols do you have in place to ensure that the folks coming over are going to be safe, and then also the region will continue to be going in the right direction? And there's two things. One, confirming a negative test on COVID upon entering the United States, and when you get here, actually taking it, and then 3 days later taking another one. So, right. So Jesse, there's the short-term test, and then there's the PCR. So those have to be both taken, and then you get those results successively, and then come on in and maintain all the health and protocol standards in our region. But we're excited about this. There's one short stop here, and that is we need our embassies. You're right. It's amazing how this all comes together. We need our embassies abroad to be fully functioning. So those are starting to get up again, because that's who the J1s put their application through. So all that's coming together. But before you know it, Jesse, I'm looking right now, it's April 26th. It's summertime coming right around the corner. We need these folks.
Oh, sure, without a doubt. Again, to our viewers, anybody watching this program, we really do have an unemployment or an employment crunch, and it really need to get people back to work to be able to keep our local economy strong. The J1s, if they come in, that absolutely helps. But let's face it, this is our backyard, So and if the plum jobs are there to be had, this would be the time to move on it. Hey, one other thing, it just seems to me like it's kind of throwing a wrench into it. I'm not trying to editorialize here, but the HEROES Act there's a bit of controversy about that. And I know you and a number of other community leaders sent a letter to Governor Cuomo asking him to veto the HEROES Act. Would you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, Jesse, I'm glad you brought that up. So each of our elected officials at the state level, all 6 of them, Republican and Democrat in our area, voted no on this. This bill just passed last week, and it is moved to the governor's desk, where he has to sign it within 10 days of last Friday. He either has to sign it or veto it. Okay, so we're urging a veto. We're urging a strong veto. And that HERO Act, which is the New York Rights and Essential Health Order, has good intention, Jesse, right? Many of these bills do. But so much of what is layered into this HERO Act is duplicitous and adds a lot of money to our businesses who, even though the economy is struggling, they've still suffered for the past year. They still invested millions of dollars in PPE, air filtration, and so on. But one of the there's a couple things here if I could go into, Jesse. One is the Department of Labor would also be part of the policy, procedures, and protocols for health and safety regarding COVID. We already have that in place through Department of Health. And Jesse, those that work for our government are hardworking folks, but I've really never seen success when you layer one agency on top of another. I don't see an end goal success of getting to where you need to be in a quick and efficient manner, right? We need our businesses to keep going and they're doing the right things. Secondly, punitive fines can be levied against these businesses at a moment's notice, and there's no differential period between large businesses, small businesses. Not that I want a differentiation, but there's some large fines that could be put against our small businesses when there's already a structure in place for these safety protocols at the county and the state level. Third, individual employees could take a civil action against their employers. And that just in and of itself, even if there was never a civil action taken, Jesse, that in and of itself, guess who's going to want more insurance money? The insurance companies to cover the businesses, who a lot of them are, again, coming out of a tough year. And fourth, there's also a mandate to have a safety committee at the businesses with those with 10 people or more, that there's a safety committee that meets often, and 2/3 of the committee needs to be non-supervisor, non-management employees. And our stance is these businesses are all doing the right thing. Let them continue to do what they're doing. If there is a problem, we've got the safety in place for an employee to have a direct line, anonymous line, whistleblower safety. We want all that in case someone is doing something wrong. But adding on these burdens, Jesse, we really urge Governor Cuomo to veto this bill.
Gotcha, Michael. Well said, by the way. You did your homework on that one, my friend. Hey, and again, without sort of editorializing, it's in everyone's best interest that all the safety protocols are in place. The idea is to try to get this past us. It almost seems like too heavy a hand to me to not allow business to be business. And that, I tend to agree with you on this one, I have to admit. And, the main thing is, again, for me and all the things that we concentrate on here at LMR is really just how we keep our local economy strong, right? And these kind of hindrances right now, or more mandates or more rules to follow, when people have been crushed this past year, just does not seem like the appropriate time. And again, you're right. There's always, these bills always have something. They start with the greatest intention in the world until certain aspects of it are uncovered that maybe they didn't have the time to really thoroughly investigate. So all right, my friend, just one last thing. We are really out of time, but I just have noted, in my talks to county officials on both Warren County and in Washington County, the vaccination program is going well. And you talk to a lot of people. Do you agree? Do you think it's going okay?
Boy, Jesse, I could not be happier and more blessed to be in this area. And Warren and Washington County are working hand in hand together. Chairwoman Rachel Sieber from Warren County, Chairman Sam Hall from Washington County, along with County Administrator Ryan Moore, Janelle Jones on DOH, Ms. Melissa Fitch, who just joined as County Administrator in Washington County, and Tim Hardy over there in Public Safety. I'm leaving names out. You always get in trouble, right? When you start naming names, but so many great people have come together. We have the vaccine center set up there with a partnership with James Griffith up at the Aviation Mall at the Sears. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the great partnership between Warren and Washington County. So Jesse, I'm urging everybody, if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, talk to your doctor, make sure it's right for you. We've got plenty of vaccines available. I know the appointment times have shortened up dramatically. And that's because we've really learned how to distribute it properly. And then the production of vaccines is accelerated here. And oh, by the way, folks have gotten vaccinated, so more of a supply. So check with your doctor. Come on up. We've got plenty of availability. Contact your Warren, Washington, or Saratoga County DOH, Department of Health, and they can hook you up.
Yes, that's great. Even I know some of the people that I work with, younger people than my age, almost everybody's younger than I am, Michael, are now eligible to be vaccinated and are getting vaccinated. Well, it's great to catch up with you, and thank you for your insights on all these topics. Just one last question. If I gave you 2 oars, what would you do with them?
I would go fishing in the Battenkill River for trout.
Oh, so you wouldn't be rowing the boat to shore?
Oh!
You know I was going to do it. You knew it. It's a
I'm glad
terrible
you're
joke, and but a wonderful way to end this interview. So thank you, Michael. Thanks for all the good work that the Chamber does. We're proud to be members, and and check in anytime. And I really do think that we've got to stay on top of this worker issue and unemployment, how it's being handled, and how the safety protocols are being rolled out. So I'll be checking back with you soon. Okay, my friend?
Give my best to Antoinette. Joel, thanks for all you do. Jesse, thanks for having us.
Okay, later.
Bye-bye.